Chris Wittyngham, MLS broadcaster for Apple TV, and he was on the call here locally on 560 WQAM Saturday night for the Leagues Cup Championship, which saw Inter Miami take home their first trophy ever. We have watched a movie since Lionel Messi signed with this team. We've watched a movie.
Yeah.
And that movie had the perfect ending Saturday night as they were hoisting the trophy. Although I will tell you from a personal perspective, I had $100 on Inter Miami to win in regulation time. And so there was a better ending for that game. And Leo Campana maybe cost me $100, depending on how you look at what transpired there. And I'll ask Witty his opinion on it. But the movie has been fantastic regardless. So you have Wittyngham broadcast, attended, watched more soccer games here and internationally than anyone we talk to. Where does Saturday night rate in the list of memorable games? The way that it started with that Messi goal, which was insane, and the way it finishes with Calendar scoring, saving. Well, I don't even know how often that happens, if ever.
Yeah, I mean, in penalty shootouts, if it gets to the goalkeepers, it means mayhem has ensued. And so for that to happen in a final, you rarely see that in any penalty shootout. We've seen tons of them in this tournament. I think there was one other penalty shootout that went that long. There was a Vancouver game that went to 19 rounds of penalties, if you can believe that. But it's wild to see the goalkeepers take penalties. So the fact that Drake Callender stepped up, and honestly, like once you get to that stage, 9, 10, 11, you're fearful. You're like, I don't know if these guys have ever taken a penalty in their lives before. What even is their technique going to be? And Drake Callender smashed that thing into the roof of the net. It was an unreal take. So yeah, I mean, everything about that game was completely crazy. I went to one other game that was like that. I went to a Premier League game in England when Manchester City played Liverpool, and they were 1-2 that season. And it was essentially like having a one-off game to decide a title because the title that year was decided by 1 point. And so that level of fervor in the crowd, honestly, this is going to sound absurd, but it wasn't that far away in Nashville on Saturday. Like the 5 minutes before kickoff, I felt it like I was like, whoa, we're at a cup final. And because all this stuff is new, right? Leagues Cup is new. Messi at Inter Miami is new. Nashville as a club is new. That stadium has only been open for games since May of last year. So you're forming all of this on the fly, and yet still it has weight. It has a sense of occasion. And honestly, the biggest indicator of that was Lionel Messi himself. Beyond scoring in the game, during the penalty shootout, I was able to catch glimpses of him. There's glimpses of this on social media. He was stressed. He was nervous. He was invested. He cared that Miami won that final.
And Witty, Solana told me earlier, and I've heard it on ESPN, which is crazy that Inter Miami's leading ESPN now, which is amazing. How many people that play soccer can kick that ball like Messi did? The upper 90, I got that verbiage down. He bent it in the upper 90. I got that verbiage down. But the way they talk about it, they act like it's a unicorn. What percentage of people can really make that in a game?
I mean, it's probably 5 or 6 maybe. And that's like even considering the circumstance, right? Because it's not just like if you kind of cleared everyone away from the field, the ability to finish into that precise spot in that top left corner is nearly impossible. But then you add on the fact that he's picking the ball up from a ricochet because it was initially a ball played in behind for Ben Hakermaski, deflects out to him. So he's recovering the ball. He realizes he's got to dance around one defender. Walker Zimmerman puts a challenge in. He gets a piece of the ball. And on the ricochet, he picks it up, comes off delicately off his left foot, as you would expect. Controls it flawlessly. Then 3 more players are converging, including one, Dax McCarty, who sticks his right leg up to try and block the angle. And he still gets the ball perfectly over the right foot that was meant to block his shot and bent into the top corner. And obviously the goalkeeper's trying his best to go and save it. It's as flawlessly as you can hit that kind of shot. And honestly, it probably is the most impressive goal that he scored. Yes, he scored those 2 unbelievable free kicks for Inter Miami. But for that to happen in the run of play, to hit that kind of shot with that kind of precision in the run of play, so hard. And honestly, what Lionel Messi has put together is absurd. And if the next time, Crowder, you call it not just upper 90, you say he hit top bins, I will be incredibly impressed. because
Let me write that down.
that's another way to describe a hit into the top corner. He put it top bins. He put it on the postage stamp. Those are the other ways you can describe that one. Top bins.
I'm still learning upper 90. I mean, this is good stuff. We have give us something else. Give us something else that we could use
some other
the season.
verbiage.
But something that sounds like we would actually know it, that we don't sound out of place saying it.
Yeah. So obviously, I mean, the postage stamp is another good one. He put it on the postage stamp.
Put it on the postage stamp.
Yeah.
It's like like what is that equivalent to in hockey?
What does Randy Moeller say? Top shelf where Mrs. Moeller puts the peanut butter?
Top shelf where Mrs. Moeller keeps the peanut butter. So
right.
That's that?
Yes.
That's that?
Yes.
What is someone standing on their head?
The goalkeeper's having a blinder.
Having a blinder.
Having a blinder.
All right.
Yes.
And was Saturday night's game, was that a cracker?
Oh, it was an absolute cracker of a game. Absolutely.
At what point did it become a cracker, though?
I would say the cracker, it becomes a cracker once they equalized. Once it's 1-1, and then you have all the drama going. And then, honestly, really across the cracker Rubicon, once Campana misses that chance at the end. Once he chips the goalkeeper, and he just can't get his foot wrapped around it. And the moment that I felt my stomach sink when he missed that. I'm like, I'm supposed to be calling the game.
I had money falling out of my pocket. My stomach sank, too.
I need a little clarity. My father's visually impaired. Can I say the blinder thing with him around?
Yes, I think so. I think that one is.
I doubt he could stand on his head, but I believe you've said it during a hockey game to him. So
I don't think saying that somebody stood on their head means that you're an ableist.
What about that Campana situation? Because again, I don't watch enough soccer. All I know is this is going to be the greatest victory, like the most storybook ending to a championship that you could ever see. And I see Solana's Solana's incensed by what he saw. What were you incensed by it, Wittyngham?
I mean, honestly, just because I was calling it, I was really just trying to keep track of what was happening. Because then once you get into multiple actions, 3 and 4 and 5 actions, you just are like, what's going on here? So he goes for the chip, which, I mean, it could have worked, right? Because he got past the keeper, and if he gets there with enough space, he could have put it in. But honestly, in that instance, you're kind of thinking, all right, he's going to go for some kind of finish into the corner and just try and get it beyond the keeper in some way. But he goes for the chip, and then he gets the other side of it, has a ton of goal to aim for, but he has a very limited angle. So he's got to get all the way around it, and he just couldn't get all the way around it. And honestly, in that moment, I not only felt bad for him in the moment, because obviously, like, you see Messi with head on his hands in the background, but also he's going to have to take a penalty in the shootout. And so you're thinking, has this guy's confidence cratered in the middle of one of the biggest moments of the season, because he's about to go step up and take a third, and he took it really confidently. So I'm not kind of worried about the mentality of the player, but if they go on to lose that final, you feel bad for him, and you feel bad for Victor Ulloa, who took the 5th penalty and had it saved.
Witty, you don't chip that though, right? Because you mentioned that he got the chip over the goalkeeper, but he got it around the goalkeeper, not on target, which is why he had to track it down. In that moment, you should left foot as hard as you can, and he's a lefty. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe he's a lefty. As hard as you can around the keeper, try to get that far post. And if the keeper makes a good save, nobody's upset with you. You try some cutesy stuff like that.
Is it cutesy? I was going to ask you. So is chipping the goaltender cutesy?
Chipping the goaltender at any point in a match, while it can be effective, especially if you're good at it, it's cutesy.
It's cutesy.
It always is.
Okay. It's throwing the ball off the backboard and then going in for the slam.
It's pulling up from 6 feet beyond the 3-point line, Steph Curry when he's feeling it, and knocking down a 3-pointer, even though he had space to step forward even more.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right? I mean, Witty, you would agree.
He wasn't forced into a chip situation there, Witty.
I actually, I have to go back and rewatch it, but I feel like the goalkeeper's pretty far off his line. And once the goalkeeper's that far off his line, it's actually the right thing to do. If that happened to me playing a game of FIFA, I would go for a chip finish. Like honestly, because you're just trying to get it over the, I mean, again, that's just me playing FIFA. But honestly, I do think that it's an effective way to go about it, because he's the last man. If you get it over him, you're honestly putting the goalkeeper in a situation to foul, which there were kind of half-hearted shouts for a foul there as Campana continued on. But I do think, and you said, Solana, if he just goes for a left-footed finish and doesn't score, he'll be fine. No, you have one thing to do there: score. If you don't score, he is going to get absolutely destroyed. Another bit of jargon: he would have been absolutely pilloried for that one.
Ooh,
He
I like pilloried someone.
Yeah, if he didn't put that one away.
But you're one-on-one with a keeper, and if the keeper makes a good save by you trying to just get around him, I think
Well, then you should have chipped him.
it's better to have that happen than you try in that moment to win a cup final, as Leo Campana, who's coming on as a substitute, by the way, who believes he should be starting, to chip the goalkeeper in that instance. And I just don't think that's the right play to make.
Would Messi try to chip the goaltender in that instance?
Perhaps, but he's Lionel Messi.
Okay.
He's the greatest player of all time.
My question would be, because Solana, you're criticizing. Did Leo Campana get criticized by his coach and teammates for that?
Yeah, what happened with Leo Campana at the end of the game when they
Did
all
Leo Campana
I gotta be honest,
did
when
Tata
Mike Lowell Campana went to his teammates?
Y'all say his name too damn fast.
Leonardo Campana. When he was
Campana.
yeah,
Did Campana get yelled at by his coach?
I don't know. I mean, I think like there's an overall frustration with the fact that he didn't finish there. But when you win, you don't like go back and relitigate that chance. It's a funny footnote now. But yeah, I don't know, because I will say in training, and I have the good fortune to go to Inter Miami training sessions every once in a while. He's the best finisher I've seen Inter Miami ever have in training. Now, obviously, I've not seen Lionel Messi go through finishing drills since he started with the club, but Leonardo Campana can strike a ball. And so I understand your point, Solano, which is that I think if he just went for a normal finish, he absolutely could have pulled it off and could have won it there. And maybe with the goalkeeper not that far off his line, if he was on the halfway line, you'd get it, right? You'd chip him, you'd try and run it past him. But I do think that it's not necessarily cutesy, in my opinion, to have gone for that finish in that spot. And it could have worked, but it didn't. Ultimately,
I was going to ask Solana. Solana, do you think that Leo Campana, as he's moving there, thinks to himself, I'm going to end this with a flourish? Like, has the wherewithal to say, I can hit it with the left foot, or I can end it with a flourish and be the highlight guy?
Yeah, I don't believe that. I think in that moment, he felt like he was confident enough to chip the goalkeeper. I just don't believe in that instance you should try to chip the goalkeeper there. I'm looking for a left-footed player like Campana, who is very technically skilled, to make a move on the goalkeeper who's coming out at full speed and try to get a better shot. Also, once you've already missed the chip and you get that opportunity to now reconcile that entire situation, make a better decision than a slide tackle outside to try to shoot back across your body without the proper angle. Like, there were so many things on that entire sequence that he could have done better. Witty's right, though. They won. He also stepped up in a very big situation and made the penalty kick. Like, that is
Would
huge.
it have been fun to try to chip the goaltender during the PK?
that actually is a tactic. You don't
Is it
chip
really?
it over him. But yeah, so here's another soccer term for you. That's called a panenka. So what happens is you approach the ball as if you're going to strike it, and what you do is you do a little dink. It's just a little tap. It goes into the air, and the goalkeeper is expecting to go somewhere, so he dives, and in diving, you see the ball gently float through the air and into the back of the net. That's called a panenka penalty.
Oh, we got a Panera. Then we look for that, Crowder. You get the Asiago bagel, and you get
We'll be set.
Wittyngham. Someone revive him. See, all right there? Chris Wittyngham from Apple TV, and had the game locally here on 560 WQAM, and his calls were amazing. Amazing. We're very lucky when he does the Inter Miami games on 560. Today, Wittyngham, as we wrap things up here, is celebrating a birthday. How are you celebrating your birthday?
I have to go to work tonight. We have our weekly MLS Apple Season Pass preview show that we do every week about Inter Miami. So we got to record it because I'm leaving town tomorrow. So it'll be recorded tonight, and that's how I'm celebrating my birthday.
Go straight from there to the club, get straight on the plane, sleep on the plane, bro. Easy.
How about
it's a Monday night. I actually have to do Sirius XM radio in the morning too.
How about?
Easy.
I mean, I'm down. That's how lucky we are to have him. Like, I'm assuming you're flying somewhere to do an MLS game.
I'm flying to go work for CBS's Golazo network, which is their 24/7 soccer streaming channel. So he'll be a
Very
panelist
cool.
on 2 of their shows this week.
Look at this. I mean,
Awesome.
things are happening, but I know where you went for dinner last night for your birthday. Go ahead, share with everybody.
I went to Runway 84. How did you know this?
I saw it in our
Okay.
text thread or something. I don't know. You probably Instagrammed it to Mike Ryan. You can't get enough of that guy. I don't know. Somehow I
haven't told anybody about this.
It's somewhere. You either put it on our thread or on social media or something.
Can't hide money, Hawk.
I'll tell you what, Runway 84. I mean, I guarantee you had one of the best meals of your life there.
An incredible piece of swordfish there. I've really got into seafood recently. Swordfish, delectable.
So how do they serve swordfish at Runway 84?
It's like with a little bit of rosemary and some olive oil and some cherry tomatoes on top.
Simple grilled.
Yeah, simple
exactly.
grilled Pittsburgh
Yes.
medium.
No, that's a steak.
Did you guys
medium?
never ordered a steak Pittsburgh medium?
No.
See, you can give us soccer terminology. I'll give you food terminology.
Fair
Like
enough.
if you want to be impressive at a steakhouse, say yeah, I'll take that Pittsburgh medium, please.
What does that mean?
They'll know that you know.
But what does it mean?
They put it in the shape of Bill Cowher, and then it's medium. It's medium. It's medium with a big chin.
Charred, Chris. It means charred.
Adorned by a massive ketchup bottle.
Charred on the outside,
Yeah.
but still nice and tender on the inside.
Delicious.
Hmm.
It's how men eat steaks.
You ever butterfly a steak?
No.
That's how little men eat steaks. I always get butterflied.
I just
You
say
can't
medium.
You can't butterfly a petite filet. It'd be 2 little chicken nuggets.
I know, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I got to take a petite filet, and can you butterfly it? And they're like, I don't think so. It's already too small. Couldn't do that. All right. Well, happy birthday to you, Wittyngham, and safe travels.
Thank you, gents.
All right, there you go. Chris Wittyngham, Apple TV, and sometimes 560 WQAM, and it's always a treat to hear him on the radio station.